Hello everyone, Courtney here from How to Loom Your Dragon. Today we will be making baby Grump, so the baby Hotburple from How to Train Your Dragon 2. Okay, this tutorial is dedicated to Rowell Maingat. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Rowell, I know you love How to Train Your Dragon, and I hope you make baby Grump. Yay! Yay. Okay, so for this project you will need one loom. I've got hair everywhere here. You need one loom, this is the approximate band count, you'll need about 32 of the gray bands, that's for the toenails, 275 of the burgundy brown, which is a dark brown, for his wings and part of his stomach and jaw. You'll need about 24 green, because he has a little bit of green on him. I'm using the dark green. I'm not sure exactly what the shade of this green is called, but it is the dark green. You'll need 240 of the caramel, which is a light brown, for the main body color. You will need 8 black bands, 9 pink bands for the tongue, 4 eye color bands, I'm using yellow, and about 114 of the white bands for the stomach. Okay, so we're going to start with the legs. So have your loom set up in the rectangular configuration. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a green and I'm going to take 2 caramel. Okay, so 1 green, 2 caramel. Then I'm going to take 3 caramel. Okay, then I'm going to take 2 burgundy and 2 caramel. Okay. Then 3 burgundy and 1 caramel. Oops. And then 4 burgundy. Okay, just like that. Now I'm going to double loop my burgundy bands. Move this one to here, this one to here. So I'm double looping. Alright, now you're going to take your toenail color, which is gray. Going to wrap it, creating 5 loops around your hook. Then double loop, put on your hook and pull on, just like that. Okay, so I wrapped it around that peg. I'm going to do the same, making 4 other toenails. So wrapping the gray 5 times around, double looping, pulling on, reclaiming the ends, and wrapping around the peg. Okay, and now we're going to loop the bands. So starting with this brown one, so dig under the nail, grab the double looped brown, then grab this double looped brown, then grab this one and this one. Okay, now we have to dig all the way down, grabbing the 4 bands from in here. Okay, loop them up and then loop up the rest. Okay, once you reach the top, grab a band of any color. I'm just going to use yellow, doesn't matter what color, because we're going to take it off later. Tie off your end with a slip knot and pull off. Now this is a little tricky here, so you might want to use your hook to help you so you don't end up breaking the bands. Okay, just like that. So there is 1 foot. So you're going to make 4 of these. They're all exactly the same. If your bands are a little bit tangled up, we can kind of adjust them. Okay, these are tangled as well. Okay, so make 4 of these. Okay, 4 little legs. Okay, so we've made the legs. Now we are going to make the wings. Okay, so grab your burgundy. Follow me, we're doing 2 bands at a time. We're going to go down 7 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, let's go down this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now we're going to take 2 bands at a time, stretching them across like this. Double loop, double loop, double loop. Okay, now we have to make the little wing ridges. We're going to make 5 of them. So take burgundy, wrapping it 5 times around your hook. Then take a double looped single burgundy onto your hook, pulling that onto there. Reclaim your edge, then you're going to take 2, I believe, yes, 2 burgundies onto your hook, pulling that onto those, reclaiming the loops. We're going to put these loops right around this peg. Okay, we're going to make 4 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, double loop, grab 2, this one goes around here, 3 more, 2, 3, 4, 5, double loop, pull on, reclaim, grab 2, pull on, reclaim. Okay, wrap around. Okay, now we're going to take our black and we're going to again wrap it around, creating 5 loops. Then take another black, double loop onto your hook, clean the end, and we're going to wrap this right around this peg here. Okay, so it should look like that. Now we are going to loop it. So dig down here, grabbing the top 2 bands, dig down here, grabbing the 2 bands there, these, here, here, and here. Let's go up this column now. You should know basic looming if you're doing this project. Okay, now take any color band and we're going to tie our slip knots. Pull off. Okay, so there is one of your little guy's wings. Make a second one, if possible make it symmetrical so it will bend the opposite direction. Okay, so make your 2 wings. Now we're going to do his head. We'll start with his lower jaw. So we're taking 2 burgundies at a time. And we're going down 4 times. Now we're going to take a burgundy and a caramel each time. Oh, you know what we have to do? We're going to take this middle row and we are going to bring it up so it is now offset. Sorry about that. Now we're going to go like that. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to take 2 burgundy at a time, and I'm going to make triangles. And then take a burgundy here. We're going to make a capping band, wrapping it around, creating 4 loops on the peg. Okay. Now I'm going to take my pink, making 3 pink right here. Then I'm going to double loop a pink here and here. Now wrap a pink around your hook, creating 5 loops. Double loop a pink onto your hook, pulling the 5 loops on. Reclaim the end and wrap it around this peg. Okay, let's do the other side. Taking a pink, wrapping it around, creating 5 loops. Double looping a pink, pulling it on. Reclaiming the end, wrapping it around this peg. Okay, digging down, grabbing the double looped band, looping it over. Grabbing this double looped band, looping it over. And grabbing the 3 bands, looping up. Okay, we're going to keep that there. Let's go back up to here, dig down past the capping band, grabbing the top caramel and burgundy band, looping over, and we're going to loop up. Okay, go back down, grabbing the next ones. And loop up to here, stop here, grab the tongue, so now we're pulling this off, and we're going to wrap all 6 loops around this peg. Then we're going to loop up, just like that. Grab 3 random bands to tie off your ends here. And pull off your jaw. Okay, now we're going to work on the top of the head. So I'm going to use caramel bands here, grabbing 2 at a time. Okay, now I'm going to take 2 caramel bands, I'm going to put them on my hook and I'm going to wrap them around like that. So it makes kind of like 4 loops together, with them together. Okay, pull them onto 2 more bands and wrap the 2 ends here and here. Okay, this is going to be the little bump on his nose. Okay, now we're taking 2 at a time again. Take a caramel band and cap off this end, wrapping it around, creating 4 loops. Okay, now I'm going to take a black band onto my hook. This is the nostril. Wrap it around so it makes 4 loops on your hook. Do it again with another one. Then we're going to take a caramel. We're going to double loop it, put it on our hook, and pull the black bands onto the caramel bands, wrapping the ends of the caramel bands here and here. Spread them apart and grab 2 of the 4 bands in the center, looping them over this peg here. Okay, now we're going to do our eyes. So grab a yellow, or whatever you want your eye color to be. Wrap it, creating 4 loops on your hook. Then take a black, creating 4 loops on your hook. Yellow, making 4 loops. Then we're going to double loop a caramel onto the hook. Pull all the bands onto the double looped caramel band. Reclaim the other loop of the caramel band onto your hook so it looks like that. Okay, we're going to do that again. So yellow wrapped around, creating 4 loops. Black wrapped around, creating 4 loops. And yellow wrapped around, creating 4 loops. Double loop a caramel onto your hook. Pull all the bands onto it. Reclaim the caramel bands, like that. Okay, now take 2 caramels onto your hook and pull the eyes onto them. And we're going to wrap them around this peg and this peg. Spread the eyes apart. And we're going to take 2 of the 4 bands in the middle and wrap around the same peg that we wrapped the nose bands around. Okay, you can push the eyes down. We're going to make the ears now, so grab a caramel, wrapping it around your hook, creating 5 loops. Double loop a caramel onto your hook. Pull it on, reclaim the end, lift up these 2 bands and place the loops around that peg. Then replace those bands. Pull these bands off. Make another ear, wrap around, creating 5 loops. Double loop onto your hook. Pull on, reclaim. Wrap those around that peg and replace those other bands. Okay? Now we're just going to take 2 caramel bands at a time to make our horizontals. Here, here, and then 2 here. Okay, so we're going to loom now, and as we go we're going to attach our lower jaw. Okay, so let's go under the cap band here, grabbing the top 2 caramel bands, looping them over, looping up this column, up to here, grabbing the next 2, looping up to here, and this one looping up to here. Okay, so I looped up to these points. We're going to attach our jaw there. So take your jaw with the tongue, face it so the tongue is upside down. Go through the loops of the bands on this side, wrap around this peg, dig down, loop up those 2 bands, go through the burgundy bands in the middle, so the middle set, wrap them around this peg, Oops. Loop up. Get the final set on this side. Wrap around. And loop up. Okay, grab the right bands. Yeah, okay. Make sure you grab the right bands. Alright, I'm taking 3 bands of another color. Doesn't matter what color, I'm using green. Tie off your 3 ends. And then we're going to pull off the head. Hee, and there's your little grump head. You can adjust the ears so they're popping up. Okay, so once you've made the head, we're going to pull off the white bands around the jaw here. Or the first set, you're not pulling off the green ones, you're just pulling off the old ones, okay? Just like that, okay? So there's your head. So cute. Alright. Or we can adjust his little lump on his nose to pull it up a little bit. Hee. Okay? Cool. So there's your guy's head. So now we are going to be doing the body. So grab your loom. We're going to switch to the rectangular thing again. Okay, now grab 2 caramel bands at a time. And just follow me. We're starting here with 2. We're going to do the body in 2 sections. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to take a green and a caramel each time. Okay, take caramel, 2 at a time, making our horizontals here. Now we're going to double loop the caramel. Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to take one of my legs. Okay, you made 4 of them. Stick your hook through the loops. Make sure it's, well, I'll show you once I attach it. I'm going to attach this leg right onto this peg. Make sure you attach it so it's bending upward, okay? Leg is, actually, let me think. No, I'm sorry, we want to attach it so it's facing down. Just kidding. Facing down. Leg is facing down. Okay. And we're going to grab another one. Again, attaching it so it's facing down. If it's facing in any direction, we want it to face down. Okay, right onto that peg. Okay, I'm going to grab my head. I'm going to go through the center set of caramel bands, so the 4 loops there, and I'm going to wrap that right around here. I'm going to go through the set on this side and wrap it around here. Okay, so this set on the side isn't wrapped around anything yet. Okay. Now I'm going to loop up, and as I loop up, I'm going to be taking caramel bands on the edges, so you'll see. So I'm going to put 2 right here, and then I'm going to dig down and I'm going to loop up. I'm going to put 2 here, I'm going to dig down and I'm going to loop up. 2 here, dig down, 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 loop up. 2 here. Oh, I'm going to stop here. Okay. Now I'm going to go down here and I'm going to loop the top 2 bands, which are the 2 diagonals. Make sure these loops of the head stay around the peg though. Okay, those need to stay around there. And now I'm going to dig down and I'm going to loop. Actually, hold up. Take your hook and just hold this band like that. Because these, I'm sorry, these do need to be attached right side up. So just reattach them so they're right side up. Actually, take it off. Take off the first one and loop this. Then we're going to attach it upside down. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. This is going to look better this way. So now attach this one so it's upside down. Pull this one off. And we are going to loop up, up, and up to here. So now when this is going to be lifted off, it'll be right side up. Okay, so this one we are also going to attach upside down. Okay, like that. And loop diagonally, like that. Okay? Alright, now this one I'm going to loop here up once. Oops. Okay, so I looped up here. Now you're going to take your wing, take the one that's bending this way. Okay, and I'm going to go through these loops here, and I'm going to attach it around right here. So the first set of loops on the row where the claw is, that's the one. Then you loop up one set, go through the next set of loops, loop around, loop up here, loop up here, loop up here, and here, and here, and then we're going to go back down and loop these. Don't forget these. Okay, let's grab the diagonals, loop them, loop these, and we're going to put 2 bands here. Actually, no, we're not. We're not going to put 2 bands here. Going to loop like that. We're going to put the 2 bands here. And 2 more here. Okay, and then we're going to loop up to here, and now we are going to tie off with a single, let's do 2 bands like we did with the rest. Tie off with 2 bands. And then pull this off. Hee hee! There's half of him. So cute. Okay, you can take off the tying band around his back leg here, his front leg here, and the 2 around the wing. Now we're going to do the other half of his body. Okay, so it's exactly the same, it's just opposite of what we just did. So taking caramel bands 2 at a time. Okay, here again we're taking a green and a caramel. And again. 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 And again. Okay. And again. Okay, let's do our horizontals. Taking 2 at a time with the caramel. Whoops. Okay, now we're double looping. Okay, take your guy, and we are going to go through the same loops in the center, like so the back of the head, that we did on the other section. So the same loops right here that still have the band around them, wrap them around the middle peg, and then we're going to go through the set that isn't wrapped around anything yet. Here, wrap it around here. Okay, I'm going to loop over here. Now I'm going to take front leg or another leg, you're going to put your hook through the loops, attach it so it's upside down. Okay, then loop up, lift it so now it's facing the right way. Loop up again, loop up to here, grab your last leg. Again, attaching it so it's upside down. Loop up. Okay, so I'm going to loop all the way up this column. We do not need to put the loose bands on the edges of this side. Okay, so, or not all the way, I can go almost all the way, but so we're going to go up to here. Okay, so loop up to here, then we're going to go down here, loop up these two, grab your other wing. Okay. Okay, so now we are going to hold it this way and go through this set. Oops. Wrap it around here. Okay, loop up, go through the next set, wrap it around here, loop up, loop up here, and here, and here, and here, and here, then go back in here and loop up these. Okay, and then take 2 bands and tie off the end here. Lift him off. Okay, so his body is going to be in 2 halves. We can take off the tying band around the legs on this side. He's so cute. And the wings. And the head. So there's 3 around the head. Mine are green bands. So take off those. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull all the loose bands on the one side toward the middle. Okay, now I'm going to hold him so he's upside down, and I'm going to be pulling the loose bands through this column. So watch me, I'm going to go through the first set here, pulling the first 2 bands through, okay, pushing them down on my hook, going through the next set, pulling the next 2 bands through the set as well as the 2 that were on the hook, pushing down, going through. We're essentially stitching the body together. Okay, so once I've reached the tying bands, I'm going to pretend they're the loose bands, and I'm going to pull them through here. Okay, and then, let's see, the other ones I'll pull through the other side. So I'll go into the other side and pull the other 2 through those. Okay, so now I have 4 loose bands here. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to hide them in the body. So, I'm going to like stick my hook through, like maybe these here, pull them through, and just C-clip it. Don't worry about the C-clip showing because we're going to make it the stomach and we're going to cover it up. Okay, so just grab a clip and clip all 4 of those bands. Roar! Okay. We will cover that C-clip up when we do the stomach. Hee hee! So now we're going to do his little tummy, or his big tummy, because he's going to be fat. If you have fiberfill or cotton, I suggest that you use it to stuff the stomach up. Okay, I'm going to put him aside while we do the stomach. The stomach is the same thing as the 2 halves of the body that we stitched, except obviously it's a different color. So we'll start with the back. Seems to be a dark brown, so I'm going to use burgundy for that, okay? So burgundy here, so 2 at a time. Burgundy here, burgundy here, okay, burgundy here, burgundy here, burgundy here. Actually take these off because we're going to put those on after. Alright, now we're going to do white the rest of the way down, okay? Or you could do, if you have like a mucky yellow color, maybe I'll use my puke vomit color for this instead of the white. To use vomit or not to use vomit? I'll stick with the white, I guess, since I told you to use white. Okay, we'll use white. He's a baby. Maybe we'll make the grown-up have the vomit green color when I do the grown-up one. Because the babies aren't dirty yet. Or maybe they should be dirtier, because they're babies. Okay. Okay, now I'm taking those two browns and I'm going to put them there. Alright, now back to the white. Okay, so horizontals, I'm going to do white here. Double looped white here. Double looped brown here. Okay, so I'm going to take two white bands and I'm going to put them, actually we have to cap off, I think. Yeah, okay, we're going to cap off here. Wrap around, creating 4 loops. Then we're going to take two whites and we're going to put them on here and here and here and here and here, 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 this one I'm gonna do brown here. Okay, so two browns, two browns here, and two browns here. Okay, so I'm gonna take a caramel band, so whatever your body color is, and we're gonna put those around this edge. Okay, great. So, okay, so I'm going to start under the capping band, grabbing the top two white, which are the two horizontal here. Loop them over. Then I can pretty much go up a bunch of, oops, a bunch in here. Up to there. Now let's dig in here and grab these two. Okay, don't let those caramel bands fall off. You want to loop as if they're not there, but you don't want them to come off. Go grab this one. Okay, I'm going to wrap a burgundy and a caramel, one of each around this end, so slip knotting, pulling off. Alright, so we got half our stomach here. We have to do the other half, so pull all your loose bands to the edges. Okay, so it looks like that. Okay, now to do the other half. He's gonna be so fat and cute. Alright, so taking two again to the burgundy. Now going to the white. Burgundy. Now white. Okay, double looping the white for the horizontals here. Now double looping the burgundy. Okay, so I'm going to cap off down here with a white, wrapping it around, creating 4 loops. Grabbing a caramel for our edges. We do not need to put the inside bands on the edges, just the caramel. Okay, let's start with that. So go under your cap band, grabbing the top 2, looping them over. Whoops, make sure that stays on. Grabbing the next 2. Make sure it stays around the bands stay around the peg. That caramel band is being mean, so I'm gonna change to a nice one. If you have some mean bands in there, change to nice bands. Alright. Loop up this one. Okay, oops. We gotta put more caramels on our edge here. So 1, 2, so let's do those diagonals. And then a caramel and a burgundy. Oops. Make sure you get around all the loops. Pull your caramels to the edge. Okay, now grab your other half of your stomach, because we're going to attach the halves, and we're going to do it the same way we did before. So, starting up here, we're going to start the first set of the burgundy here. We're going to pull the 2 burgundies through. Okay. Pull through. Go to the next set. Pull the next, oops. Pull the next 2 through. Actually, I'm starting at the wrong end. It doesn't really matter what end you start at, but I'm going to start at the white end. I can't make up my mind. Okay, starting at the white end. Sorry, guys. Okay. I'm also going to pull through the burgundy band from this side as well. Okay, and I'm going to go through the other end and pull the burgundy band from the other side through there as well. I don't know why I even have that there. It's just for extra support, honestly. So I have the 2 burgundy bands. I'm leaving the 2 caramel tied bands there because we'll need them for when we attach. Okay, and I'm going to just go through random bands here and pull the burgundy through those and C-clip it again. Okay, so now we're ready to attach the stomach to him. So grab your guy. I'm going to put him upside down, and we are going to lay the white part under the jaw, and the brown part goes where his bottom is, okay? So all we're going to do is we're going to just pull the caramel bands through the body. So I'm going to pull them through the edge here. I think I forgot to attach that one. Alright, so just pulling through the edge bands. Whoops. We're stitching it. Okay, so same thing that we did before, essentially. We're just going around the body and doing a stomach attachment. So just pulling the loose bands through each set. Try not to miss any, otherwise your stomach will probably look a little crooked in the end. Okay, so the last band I pulled through was the tied band, okay? I'm just going to put a C-clip on here for now to hold it. so it doesn't go back through, okay? Now we're going to do the other side of this little chunk. And as we do, we can kind of stuff him up if you have the fiberfill. So same thing on the other side. Just stitching him together. Okay, so once we're, oops. You know what, I'm going to undo that one because I want to stuff him here and have room to stuff him. So once you're close to the end, we're going to stuff him. So I'm going to take my fiberfill and we can stick it through, but you don't want to overstuff him, so you don't want to be able to see it popping through the edges. Oops. And once you've stuffed him as much as you want, just continue to stitch. Stitch him. And once you've pulled, why is that not even? Why are you not even? Weird. Okay, well, let's see, clip is sticking out. If your C-clip's sticking out, you'll just have to stuff it back in there. So anyway, I did something wrong here, but all you want to do is once you reach the end, you just want to tuck those final bands in and C-clip them. What did I do? Grr. What the heck? Okay, well that needs to stay there, and you need to be tucked in. Oh, that's what that is. That was that other band. Okay. So, let's say this is our last set here. Okay, so we have our two tied bands here at the end. All we gotta do is just C-clip them into the body. So it might be a little tricky, just kind of pull them in somewhere. It's a little, you don't want it to look sloppy though. Mine looks a little sloppy, but get that C-clip in there. Okay, and then Let's like pull it through a little more. So I'm just pulling it through. Some of the fiber fills coming out. Come on, Grump. Behave, little dragon. C-clip them and just stick them back into the body like that. Okay? And now we want to add just a little bit of warts onto him. Hee hee, so cute. So cute, little Grump. You can also wire up his legs if you want. And I have a hole here, so I'm going to fix that as well. So if you want to fix this hole here at the top of your neck, you can do that. So I'm just going to grab the white bands and these, and let's see how this works. So I just pull a band through them all. Just slip knot it and go into the body and pull it into the body. Like that. Okay, so kind of just like that. Alright, let's put just a few little warts on this guy. So I'm going to take a brown band, I'm going to wrap it around my hook, creating 5 loops. I'm going to take 2 brown bands, pulling that onto there, reclaiming the ends. This is going to be a wart, so you're going to pick where you want it. Like maybe I want this one on his chin. So I'm going to pull it through the bands on the chin. Just kind of tie it there. So there he has a little wart on his chin. Okay, he also has them like all over his body as well. 5. So as many warts as you want to put on him, you can. I think he has them on his stomach too, if I'm not mistaken. So just put some warts on the guy. Hee hee. Or another way to do it is to, so once you've made your wart, this might be a neater way to do it, is to take it off and then go through the bands you want to go through, like say these or whatever. Then pull the wart through, open up a hole in it, and then stick the other end through. I don't know if that looks any better or not, but so either way, however you want to do it, okay? Put some warts on your guy. Hee hee. He's so chunky. Hee hee. Definitely need some on the tail, so let's put some on there. And then I think he has some under here too. So let's do that. He looks a lot like the Gronkle, honestly. I thought he was like a weird looking Gronkle when I first saw a picture of him. I was like, what is that? But apparently he's not a grunkle, so... Just have fun putting these warts on your guy. As many as you want, depending on how many bands you have. So yeah, just have fun putting some warts on your guy. I'm gonna put one more on his back, I think. 5. And if you have a wire, you can always wire up his legs so they're not so sprawled out. I might do that on mine. Pull up his ears. Okay, guys. So, there he is. Okay. Rowell, I hope you like him. He's so cute and chunky and fat. So yeah, definitely put some wire in his legs. And you can put it in his wings too. Okay, everybody? I hope you like your little Hotburple, Grump. And I will see you next week for the next tutorial.